Yo, what's up guys and girls, welcome back to the video. Today we're going to talk about something that I have seen online in WhatsApp groups everywhere. It's ZEUS. Its actual name is Divine Arsenal AA-ZEUS Sky Thunder, for those of you that don't know. This is one of the new hype cards from Phantom Race that just got released. Let me walk you quickly through the effects, so if you're not up to date you know what we are talking about. 2 level 12 monsters for the overlay, which is something that you're not going to do. Once per turn, if an XYZ monster battled this turn, you can also XYZ summon Divine Arsenal AA-ZEUS Sky Thunder by using one XYZ monster you control as a material. Transfer its materials to this card. Quick effect. You can detach 2 materials from this card. Send all other cards from the field to the graveyard. That's it. Once per turn. If another card you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can detach one card. You can attach one card from your hand, deck or extra deck to this card as a material. Honestly, this card is really broken. It's not difficult to recognize that the potential of a card like this. But a lot of people online have been speculating that this was the best card of the set, or that this would change the game. It would be unevenly in the extra deck. It would be really good, really consistent, and you know everyone should play this card in every deck. And quite honestly, I don't get why people are so scared of this card. To argue that, let's break this down, because honestly, I've seen so many people already saying, what do I side against ZEUS, you know, how do we beat this card? But honestly, why? Why? First of all, it's an XYZ that you need to XYZ summon over an XYZ monster that has battled this turn. Now, let's quickly take a look at the meta at the moment, which is Infernoble and Dragon Link. And both decks don't XYZ summon. They don't. So the 2 top meta decks will not XYZ summon. Now, what are the decks after that, at the moment? Of course, we have Eldlik, which XYZ summons, but it will not go into this card. Then we have Adamantipator, which makes a Gallant's Granite, which is not going to battle. Yeah, we don't really have a lot. So of course, after Phantom Knight released, a lot of sets got support, and one of the decks is Burning Abyss. But the deck that we are actually looking for is Zodiac. Zodiac is of course a Beast Warrior archetype that can XYZ summon using 1 card. So naturally, this card is really strong in a deck like Zodiac. Zodiac has gotten more support with the Tribal Grade as well, and this definitely pushes the deck to another level. We are still only looking at Zodiacs at this point. There is really no other XYZ deck out there. The only deck that I do have to admit that's going to play this deck is Numeron. And it's really good in that deck. That deck is basically best played at the moment as a going second deck, because you can easily OTK your opponent. But right now, because of course, if you go first and you make your S0, then you detach 1 your opponent cannot play, but the turn afterwards you cannot kill them at all, because you only have a 2000 attack monster, and that's not gonna, it's gonna die eventually if your opponent just keeps passing. But this card really helps the deck, because it enables the deck to make a turn 2 play for itself. So after you make your Zexal, you can not let your opponent play, then the next turn you can attack with your Zexal, and then you can overlay for Arsenal, and then you have a lot more pressure than you had before, which is really good for the deck. And for the deck like Zodiac, being a 1 card XYZ deck, this card is also really insane, because you can just attack, and then afterwards you can just overlay, and then you have a really strong monster that sends cards to the field. But that's it. Like, the card doesn't negate anything, it sends everything. So why are you so scared of it? Like any literal deck right now, like one of the top meta decks, or even a tier like 2 deck, like if you go, because this is a card that's only good when going second. You're not gonna make this card turn 1. You cannot battle turn 1, and if you play a deck that's overlays 2 level 12 monsters, then we don't even have to have that discussion at this point. So the deck is only good when going So the card is only good when going second, and that's already, you know, a whole different world, because you have to play a deck that's gonna go second. And even a deck like Zodiac prefers to go first, and like a deck like Zexal gets support from this deck when going first. So we're already getting into a very difficult situation where the card really is like in a weird place, because not every deck can play it, and like you're not gonna build your deck around this card because it's a go second card, and honestly it's not even the best go second card. At this point we have cards like Dark Ruler, Droplet, Triple Tactical Talents, like all these going second cards that help break your opponent's field. But this card doesn't help break your opponent's field. Of course it sends every card on the field to the graveyard, but you have to activate that effect, which is good luck. If your opponent ends on like a field with Dragoon and Apollo's Savage, they hand looped you already. Like, what is this card going to do realistically? Like, how far do you think you're gonna go here? If you're playing against Dragon Link, they'll just bounce your normal summon and you cannot go into your battle phase because you don't have any monsters. And if they have like 2 to 3 negates, then they can just negate this card anyway. So where's the fear coming from? Like, this card is really oppressive, and I totally admit, this is a really, really strong Yu-Gi-Oh card. But right now, it's the most expensive card of Phantom Rage, being around 50 euros in Europe, which is honestly quite expensive for a card that you're gonna play at 1, maybe 2, but honestly I cannot see why you would ever play 2. At this moment, of course. Things can change, and don't hold me accountable for this, because this can definitely be wrong. I can see 2 happening as well. But the other money card of the set is Zoo King Alpha, which is also a card that's really good in Zodiac, but this card is also good in literally every other deck. It's a 3-off in every side deck in my opinion. This card is really insane. It's the new Pancratops, but it's a 3. And it's slightly worse than the Pancratops, but it's a 3, so that's fair. But this card is currently at 30 euros on Cardmarket, which is like nothing. You can buy a playset for 90 euros, which is honestly, it's still a lot of money, don't get me wrong, it's like almost 100 euros, but this is like one of the new broken staples we're talking about, and it's only 30, and it's less than Alpha. So the best card of the set is probably Alpha, or it's probably Zoo King Alpha, but it's cheaper than Zeus, which is only being played in 2 decks. Why? I get that this card is really strong, but honestly, if your deck loses to a Zeus, then it will lose to like 20 other things before the Zeus. Like honestly, if your deck loses to 1 Zeus, because you can just enter battle phase, attack, then make Zeus, then send everything, then you're gonna lose of the Zodiac deck anyway. So I don't really see the problem here. So the entire point of this video was to kind of talk about how this card really, it's a strong card, it's not overrated. The card is definitely really good, and it definitely pushes a deck like Zodiac to the next tier. But it's not the best card in the set, and I don't know why it's so expensive. I don't know why it's such hype. Like, of course, it brings one of the fan favorite decks back, but we are still in a format with Dragon Link and Infernoble, and like, whatever other deck you're gonna play, it doesn't really matter at this point. So yeah, what are your thoughts about the new Zeus? Like, do you like the card? Is it strong? Is it kind of overrated? It's all up there. Like, anything can happen to this card. But in all honesty, I don't really feel why you should be scared, because there are so many things that just stop this card. Like, just don't let your opponent's XC monster battle, and just bounce or destroy Zeus when its effects activate and just negate it. There are so many outs to this card, and everybody just doesn't want to see them, I guess. But yeah, that was my thoughts on this Zeus card. Like, I really like it. It's a really strong card, and it definitely has its place in a lot of decks, but honestly, is it such a hype card out of this set? I don't think so. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Bye guys.